Welcome back to the Ponca City Monthly podcast. I'm your host, Andy, and it's the first of the month and it's September. Can you believe we've already gotten all the way through the year to September? It's an exciting month. A new magazine is out this week. So we have our editor-in-chief, Kelsey, with us today. Kelsey, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's a wonderful month. September's a fun month.
It is. Something that has, for me, been very exciting is I can't stand summer. I hate summer with a passion. Like, I don't like to be hot. I don't like to be sweaty. So all of a sudden the weather has changed and it's gotten very cool. And so all of a sudden everything that's been closed off all summer long is finally starting to awaken. And I'm starting to feel creative and happy again.
Yeah, I was digging out all my fall decor and I was shopping for some Halloween stuff. And some people wait till the end of September, but September 1, boom, I've got all my stuff out. But it is very invigorating to have some of that cold weather kind of roll in. But I like summer to a point, and then I'm over it. And I've been over it for about a month.
Well, I guess it's weird though. I want the best of both worlds because I hate winter too. I hate being freezing cold. And so by January, I'm over winter. But by August, I'm over summer and I'm ready to move on to greener pastures and happier times.
Yeah, but fall is pretty good all the way through. And spring is most of the time good all the way through. But, I've learned to love winter. I'm with you though. February winter is different than January winter.
Sure.
But I do appreciate the ability to kind of hibernate during winter and regroup and do some cleaning and things. But yeah.
I made a post a few years ago and it said something snow in December, before Christmas, is beautiful and amazing. Yeah. Snow in February is what the heck is going on?
It's really true. It's just annoying at that point. But luckily, the work that we do, we can work remotely and we don't have to venture out. But some people have to go and work in it.
Which is why I feel bad whenever I complain about the weather because I'm just my friend Brandy, she works at the Canned Gardens.
Yes, yeah.
And she's out in the heat all the time. So I feel really bad when I'm having a bad day. Man, I can't put words together.
I know. Pity party for us, but.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Something that happens to me in the fall, and part of it has to do, it's a twofold thing. I like to travel in the fall because school's in session.
Yes.
And I don't have to deal with kids because I'm not a big fan of kids, especially when I'm traveling. But yeah, so for me, it's about time to get to travel season. You've got some traveling coming up.
I do. I never really planned to travel in the fall, but looking back, we take a ton of road trips and things in September. October is just such a good time to travel. So I think I do it unintentionally, but I also have a birthday in the early October. So I like to go on birthday trips.
Yeah. For me, I don't know. I have this vivid memory. Whenever I was growing up, we were the take road trip kind of families. Even if we were going to New York, we would drive. It wasn't something that we just hopped on a plane for. I don't know why. But being in the car in summer, I just hate it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty rough.
When you, even though you have the air conditioner going and it's full blast and you're there, it's still just as hot and it's gross.
Well, I think it's you're in the car in the air conditioning and then you have to go, if you stop to get gas and it's boom, 100 degree. I don't know. It's such a different temperature that I think that kind of makes me nauseous sometimes.
Yeah. But likewise, whenever I'm in Colorado in the mountains and it's snowing and I have that heater going full blast and then I get out, it's all cozy and fun. I can't explain it, but yeah, I like to travel in the fall. I'm also going to a big music festival in Tulsa next weekend.
Fun.
So I'm super excited about it.
What's the name of the festival?
It's the Neon Prairie Festival.
Okay, fun.
This is their second year to have it.
Nice.
I don't know. When you look at Rocklahoma, which happened just this past weekend, and you see the sea of people that are there, the thousands of people, I don't know that this is that kind of festival.
Oh, okay.
It's a dance music festival.
Yeah.
Because I love dance music.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it's what it's going to be like. I don't know. I bought a camping pass to camp at the festival. But I've kind of chickened out because, I'm not 20.
Well, so you and I were talking before we started the podcast about, I feel like people are going back to movies a little bit more.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's happening with festivals? Because you go to a lot of festivals. What has been the pattern of how big and how many festivals that are happening.
You know, I think that I think it's transitioning from a time when there were a lot of festivals. And I think just financially right now, people aren't doing the big, because you know, when you go to a concert, you're going to spend like $150, $200 for a ticket.
Yeah.
For a good seat, decent seat. I have specific places I like to sit.
Yes. Yes.
But a festival, you're going to pay a little bit more because you're seeing like 10 people.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing like a bunch of acts. So they're a little more expensive. So I don't know if they're as popular right now because of how expensive
The world
they
is
are.
expensive right now.
Yeah,
in
everything is
general.
expensive. I hate shopping for groceries because
Oh, yeah. People,
again, this is one of those things where I get to complain and I feel embarrassed about it because I don't have kids. I can't imagine having kids and having to shop for groceries.
It's tough. I have 2 teenage boys that basically are adults. They eat like adults. And so it is extremely expensive to feed them. But yeah, the world is expensive. So we do have less disposable income. However, like I do see people returning to more normal activities. I know we're literally 5 years post-pandemic, but I think it's taken this long. And I feel like we're finally starting to see some growth, like going to the movies. I've been going to the movies a lot more. I just see people returning to more regular routine activities.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I definitely think so. Like I said, this is going to be an exciting weekend
Yeah.
to see how this plays out.
yeah, well, camping or not, I think it'll be a fun time. So
I can't decide if I'm going to do that. Because also, even though it's been really cool, it's supposed to be hot next weekend. So,
of course, yeah. One
yeah.
more last hurrah before fall.
but they're promising that we're not supposed to be like in hundreds.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
they're
good.
saying we won't be in hundreds anymore for the rest of the year. So
I mean, let's be honest. It's been a mild summer.
it has been.
Okay, so we can't complain too much.
But again, see, this is that time where I'm like, yeah, it's been really mild. I haven't been outside at all.
But we had that summer, what was it, 2014? And it was like 110 degrees for 30 days. Do you remember that?
Let me tell you something. That was the year that I decided it would be the most coolest thing to get a landscaping job.
Oh my God. How did we survive that?
I don't
It was
know.
so
I remember laying on the ground and throwing up at one point.
Yes. And I remember the
heat
weather.
exhaustion.
The weather people were like, it's too hot to go swimming. It's too hot to go to the lake. Like heat advisory, don't step out. I mean, it was so bad, but
I was at a concert. I went on the hottest day of the year. It was 120 degrees. And I was in the rafters of a concert venue. And it was so hot. And the people on stage were like, it's so hot. And it was we were the hottest. Tulsa or Oklahoma was the hottest place ever for that day. It was like the hottest place in the world.
It was a hot summer. It was so bad. Anyway,
So
yeah.
we're not to that, but it wasn't that kind of summer.
Yeah, but it was still hot.
It was still hot.
Yeah, we can whine about it if we want.
Yeah, even though it never really got to 100, just a couple of days. All right. Well, one of the great things about moving into, I think, September and the fall months is that it seems like in Ponca City, while we have a couple of fun big events, most of the events stop over the summer and we don't get a whole bunch of events.
That's
Have you noticed
true.
that?
Yeah, we do. I don't know what it is, but when September 1st hits, it is like every weekend we'll have 1, 2, or 3 events during each week, all the way through like the end of October. It seems like it's just event season.
So yeah, as we're heading into fall, lots of events coming up.
Yep.
We're going to kick it off with Hispanic Heritage Festival, which is coming up on September 13th.
Yes.
That's going to be a fun event.
It is.
I have been involved with that event for a couple of years. I do paper mache, and so as an artist, I got to go and be a part of that event. This year they moved it to the Grand Avenue, so it's outside. It's a bigger kind of festival.
That'll be fun.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Coming right off of that is the cook-off.
Yes.
That's
the cook-off.
Robin's big event.
It is Robin's big event. Yeah. It's going to be and they've been doing it for such a long time now. It's a well-oiled machine and everybody kind of knows what to do. So, that's the rough thing when you have like a brand new event. Nobody kind of knows what's going to happen. But this is one of the longest running cook-offs in, I think, the state. So it's a big, big deal.
Yeah, I was hoping to maybe get Robin in here. I just don't think it's going to work out with the timing to talk about cook-off because she's been involved for so long.
Yeah, it's like 25 years.
Okay, I didn't know the exact number, so I didn't want to spew out a number.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew it had been several years. But yeah, because she has done every aspect of that. I think she told me one
absolutely.
time. to the different things. Funny story, 2 years ago during the cook-off, I won the big prize.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
I don't even know how I did that. I don't remember buying. I think it was like you bought like a raffle ticket from kids or something. And
Yeah, no, I think they have a setup at the Herb Festival, so I bet that's where you bought them. Yeah,
and we bought tickets, and then they called us and were like, "You won this big cooker."
Yes,
and
I remember that a couple years ago.
It was a monster thing.
It's a huge, expensive cooker too.
It is. It was very fancy, and it's so fancy that I don't use it as much as I wish I did because it's we just don't. We kind of went a little vegetarian, so we didn't do as much cooking on it, but we have a fun time whenever we do it.
Yeah,
We've done a turkey or two on it. So
yeah, One Cook Shack donates that every year. They're a really good partner to the cook-off, and so every single year they give away one of those big cookers.
Yeah, definitely Cook Shack here in town. I went to pick it up in my car, which is basically a golf cart with doors. I didn't realize because they were just like, "You want a cooker?" I was like, fun, a little hibachi grill."
Right.
And then it was this gigantic thing that we had to get an actual like truck to go pick it up. It was really big.
It's huge.
Next up is the music in the garden. That's going to be going on all month.
Can we show the cover, or are we going to?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Because I always love to show the cover, like when we dive into. So here's our cover this month.
Good shot. Yeah.
Very good shot. So Annie Owens is on our cover. But,
I think that's going to be. It was a fun article. I got to interview her for the magazine. I mean, that's why she's on the cover.
Yeah.
So that was a fun time. The photo shoot was fun.
Yes.
I have always been. When you go through journalism school, they teach you about like not showing, house numbers and things like that. And so I'm always cautious whenever we do something like this or we do a photo shoot in the cemetery.
Yeah. I wondered how, because it was honestly, I think was it my idea?
Yeah.
To do it in a cemetery?
But it was your idea, but it was an idea that we all had. We were all going to do it anyway. And you were just the one that was like, yeah, do it.
Yeah. And I was like, let's put that on the cover for September. It worked out so great. But yeah, I was like, I wonder which gravestone he's going to show, but you did exactly kind of what I was thinking you would. So did you is this the backside of a gravestone?
It is the backside. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We strategically did the backside. The funny story with that is that I wanted it to have this really cool feel. And so I had gone out and planned this perfect photo.
Yeah.
Like I had took pre-shots. I had already laid it into Photoshop.
Oh, wow.
Like that's how far along. Like all I had to do was go back, take the shot with her, drop her picture in.
Yeah.
Get there that day. They are re-landscaping that particular area.
That's right.
Like, and all of the like big, gigantic, Gothic-looking gravestones were all in that same area. Yeah. So I had set up 3 or 4 different shots in that area, and when I got there, they were all. They were literally mowing and weed eating, and there was like 20 people, and so it was like there was no way we could do the photo there. So this was just, I was like, well, let's walk over here.
And speaking of summer, like, didn't you say this was like 100-degree day? Like it was so hot this day?
It was hot. So here's the funny story. So for me, going to a mausoleum isn't that like thing. But whenever I get to a mausoleum that's always locked and it's never unlocked, then I definitely want to go in.
Right. Because Marlin's mausoleum is always locked, right? Or is that a different one?
So they actually at Oddfellows have a great big giant mausoleum.
Yeah.
And it's always locked. And the only people that have keys are the family members that are in there.
Yeah.
And so when Annie was like, maybe we could get in the mausoleum and take a picture, I was like, oh yes, we're doing that. We're doing that. The thing that I didn't think about was that it's not a huge mausoleum. It's relatively small for a mausoleum.
Yeah.
And it was, 100 degrees, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And that mausoleum was an oven.
Oh, I can only imagine.
And so as we, when you're in a situation like that, you have to look for light and where's the best light so we can get pictures. And so the best light was in the very back of the mausoleum.
Yeah.
And so as we walked into the mausoleum, it just got hotter and hotter and hotter. And so we only got like maybe 5 pictures before she was drenched in sweat because, of course, to look cool like she does on the cover, she was wearing a leather jacket.
Right. Well, and I know there's certain things, like I can tell you were either under a shade tree or something, because there is such a thing as too much light when you're taking photos. So, but no, it turned out great. I love that. It's one of my favorites.
And the interview was great. We talked to her about her time as growing her social media, because she got on TikTok. She kind of chronicles her career as a mortician on TikTok. And so she does a top 5 things that she does not do based on what she knows from being a mortician. And so one of those videos just exploded on TikTok. I think she got 800,000 views.
I love how she said it had to be the one where she was in her pink sweatshirt with her hair tied. She did not expect for it to explode like it did. All that to say.
And I think, that's the thing, we talk about that, and we'll cover that in the podcast that's coming out in a couple of weeks with her, is that, there's no way you can plan going viral. In the years that I've done it, in the years you've done it, it just happens.
It does.
You think that this one thing you're going to put out is just something that it's just another, because you get in this habit of just, you're posting because you need to get stuff out and content's out. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's gotten 300,000 views. Oh my gosh, it's
the weirdest feeling.
So we talked about that, she was just wearing her, just an average day, just whatever she was wearing, she made the video, and then boom, she wakes up to 500,000 views.
Such a weird phenomenon in today's day and age, but
yes.
Happens.
You've gone viral?
Well, with Rivershire, so that whole thing. For those who don't know, my husband owns an RV park, Rivershire RV, and we had a moment back May of last year where we went from like 0 followers to, I don't remember how, it was like 141,000 shares in a matter of hours. It was insanity. So it was great.
It's kind of a weird feeling because all of a sudden you realize that there's this many people in the world and they're looking at you. And then you feel, did you feel like the next post you made had to be really spectacular? Or did you just be like, oh, well, that's how it happens?
Well, I kind of live in the social media world. And so for my husband, I think it was more weird for him because the post was about him and he just doesn't live in that world. He's very introverted. And I kept telling him like, hey, we need to create some more content, But for us, it kind of tapered off, but it really got the word out. It did what it needed to do. But for someone like Annie Owens, it's just a very authentic perception of who she is. And I hope she continues her videos because going viral can be overwhelming. And I know some people go viral and then it's like too much because you do get the negative comments. And I will tell you, that's something that happened when we went viral is we did have some haters, and it's a very fine balance. Overexposure is a thing. So
I have lucked out that everything that I've posted that's been like virally has all been nothing to do with me
that's
personally.
Handy.
And so it's always somebody else that I'm posting on behalf of.
Yes, for sure.
That goes down. Another great fun story that we have this issue is about Pioneer Tech. And they made a huge investment into welding.
They did, And luckily these were one-time state appropriated funds. And so they didn't have to come necessarily from their local budget. They were appropriated funds to basically during the pandemic, we had a lot of kids that maybe they were going to do something and they decided to do something else, or maybe they didn't want to travel. But we've had this shortage of trades like skilled labor, plumbers and electricians. But this one was specifically for welders. And so they were able to take the funds and apply it to a program where they had a long waiting list. Well, here in Ponca City, we have a lot of businesses that they're in constant need of welders and fabricators. So they put $1.8 million into their welding facility, completely redid it. And one of my favorite takeaways from the program is that they were actually able to take it from a daytime only program to now they have a full-time evening program. So if you have a full-time job, you're not available to go to classes in the daytime, you can now go in the evening, which is a huge service for our local community.
Nice. So. And, this may be a controversial subject, but, we personally have seen in the last year what AI has done to our creative fields and our digital fields that everybody was flocking to. And now all of a sudden we're seeing this kind of lapse into saying, hey, jobs like welding
Yeah.
are guaranteed not to
They are.
flatline because of AI.
Yeah, not for a while. I mean,
Not for a while.
I do think there will be a point in the distant future when we're going to have more humanoid robots. I think we're 20 years, 30 years away from that. But as of right now, any type of physical skilled labor, I think, I have 2 children that are college age, kind of getting into those professions. My older son is going into a medical field. And so like we are going to need medical workers. We are going to need people to go in person and to take care of people. That's the type of stuff that AI can't do. But if you have a desk job, if you work all day on a computer, yeah, it's at risk for sure. It's a weird world we're living in, but
It very much is.
Yeah.
And I think we're just going to see that expand a little more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but I think it's going to be kind of a new territory.
Absolutely.
And I think people with those kind of job sets that are welders, plumbers, stuff like that, they'll be hanging in there a little bit longer than us graphic designers.
Very, very in demand. So that's good. Good to know and to make those kind of decisions now for the kids that are going to be entering into a career. So
let's talk about Whimsy Kids this issue. We did a great
Yeah.
article on them. They were our business spotlight.
So Whimsy Kids, they had their big ribbon cutting back in May. And for those who don't know, I mean, most people know Whimsy has been down on Grand for, I don't know, has it been 10 years, 15 years? And they offer, it's been probably at least a decade we've had Whimsy downtown. So now we have Whimsy Kids, which is basically an expansion of their business model. For those that don't know, the Opportunity Center is the owner of all the Whimsy stores, and they give IDD, which is clientele that have intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so they're able to give them career opportunities through their stores so that their clients can continue to work and continue to earn money. So that's what Whimsy Kids is.
Nice. It's a great kids store. You can go get kids clothes, kids toys, things like that. A lot of fun kids stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, kids and babies.
Kids
they got
and babies.
both. Yeah. So if you,
and it's just part of that thing of where we're seeing more businesses coming downtown and
Yep.
starting to develop downtown. So it's exciting to have them here.
yeah, it is. It is.
So we also have a fun story about the high school. The school's starting back. They kicked off. And it was just sort of about that time that we needed stories. And so they have a brand new PR person, right?
They do.
Is
They
she,
do.
Is she PR or is she like...
I think she's
oh, wait. I wrote it
communication.
down. Public Information Coordinator.
Yes, public information coordinator. So she does all the press releases and things. And we had a little extra space in the magazine. And so I called up the superintendent and I said, hey, do you have any stories from the high school? School's starting. September's a big month for the school. And he said, actually, we just hired our new public information coordinator and she starts today. And he said, when do you need the article? And I'm like, tomorrow would be ideal. So maybe it was a group effort. I don't know if they put it all on her shoulders or maybe they did, but it was a great opportunity for them. And it was a great article.
A fantastic article. I thought it was a really cute article. Lots of cute pictures, stuff like that. I always like those kind of pictures. But yeah, great back to school piece for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
For us. We also have, like we talked about, Hispanic Heritage Festival coming up on September 13th.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. Edgar Cruz is going to be coming. I have been a fan of his for a really long time. He's an Oklahoma guitarist. He is world renowned. And so it's really cool to get to have him here. Whenever I move, in Tulsa, we have the Day of the Dead Festival. It's a big festival that we have every year. And so when I moved here, we didn't have any type of festival like that. And so I was asking around, and I did a couple of art classes where I did paper mache.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we did Day of the Dead stuff. And at that, I went in to get Edgar Cruz to come. And so I'm
that's right. I do remember that.
I tried very hard to get him to come, but he's not like somebody you could just pick up the phone and call and be like, hey, can you come down? So it's really exciting that they got him to come in. And then they also have the ballet Folklora. I'm going to try to say the last name, but I'm probably going to say it wrong. Zacapille. And they are an amazing ballet group. I've seen them multiple times. They do cultural dances and stuff like that. It's also a great time to have food. Lots of local people come out and, just set up and cook food from their families. So,
well, and Kat Long with Ponca City Development Authority established this festival to try to do some outreach in the Hispanic community, and it has been a huge. It's grown every year that they've had it, so it's a great event.
Yeah.
But anyone is welcome. Everyone in the entire community or outside the community is welcome to come and partake and just kind of learn the cultural events of the Hispanic, community that we have.
Yeah, and it's just a great community building thing. Like I said, I come for the food because the food is always fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
There's also lots of shopping you can do and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Last month, we had Dallas from the Humane Society, the Northern Oklahoma Humane Society, come in and talk about their Arctic Wildcat Foundation or fundraiser. And I actually got to see it. They had an event at I think it was at PetSense or no, Smith Home Furnishings.
Smith Home Furnishing. They were
and they actually had it out there, so you could go out and see it. But yeah, they're giving away this 2003 Arctic Wildcat. I didn't write down how much it was worth. It's something in the 20,000 range.
Yeah, that sounds right. And there's only a limited number of tickets. So there's only 300.
Yeah, and they're selling them for $100. The raffle is going to be on the 27th.
Yep.
You can listen to that podcast with Dallas, where we talk a lot about the Arctic Wildcat.
Yep.
I keep wanting to call it just the Wildcat. It's a side-by-side ATV. Greenwood Aerospace donated it. So they could raise some money. So that's really exciting. But yeah, and we're going to have another conversation. I don't know if it will be with Dallas or with Justin, but we'll have that coming up here in a few weeks, probably before the drawing, just so we can talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, it only has 2 miles on it.
Yeah,
so
pretty good. Brand new. Yeah.
Brand new. So that will be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Scouts. That's always near and dear to you.
It is. So we are a big Scout family at my house. My husband was a Scout master for many years. He stepped into a new role as the committee chair. But a lot of people may not know it, but we have been here in Ponca City, been part of the Cimarron Council. And as the world has changed and, resources have changed and things, we have merged with a new council called Last Frontier. And so Cimarron Council doesn't exist anymore. But it's honestly a really, really positive thing. So Last Frontier is one of the oldest and most established councils in the entire United States. They have a ton of resources. They own a lot of camps. And so, we're really excited to be a part of the Last Frontier Council. And they are trying to grow the presence of Scouts here in Ponca City. They're recruiting they're recruiting for their district committee, which is kind of the leadership. So if you have experience, if maybe you used to be a Scout master or you used to be a committee chair, they're looking for good people to really provide programming for our Scouts. So it's a big deal and we're excited about it.
Very cool. That's an exciting article. Lots of fun pictures for that one. Let's see. We had a couple of events still yet.
Yeah.
So we have the Standing Bear Powwow coming up.
Yes.
That's going to be a big thing on the 26th and 27th, which is also the same weekend as Art Fest.
Yes, which is one of my favorite events.
Yeah. This is the 51st year, right?
One of the longest running in the state. Yep.
Yeah. Lots of lots of artists come into town for that, and lots of touring artists that come through, and so that's always a fun thing. And then right after September comes October with Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Are you excited about Oktoberfest?
I love Oktoberfest. It's, of course, again, I said my birthday's in early October. So October is my favorite month. And all the events in October, with all the fall colors and all the cold weather, and Oktoberfest is kind of the celebration of all that fall stuff. So I love it. And it's at the beautiful Marlin Mansion.
It's always a fun event. There's, again, I know I keep going back to it, but it's always food.
If you got music.
Food, you can get me there.
Yeah. And Oktoberfest has they've got, I think, 5 different bands that come in for that weekend. So they've got a lot of good music.
Yeah, and it's always a big fun time. Lots to do there.
Lots of beer, lots of sports.
Yeah.
They have a whole tent that's all beer and sports. So
So this month, because we had just a tiny bit of extra space, I did a photo spread
Yes, I love the photo spread.
downtown of the new flower beds because I love taking photographs of flowers. I don't know why. I think I know why. It's because they don't move and I can just sit there and spend as much time as I want to with them.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm bothering them
Yeah.
by taking 100,000 photos. But yeah, fun time with the flower beds downtown.
Yeah.
This is kind of a weird issue, and what is this? My fifth year?
Yeah.
We're getting close to 5, I think.
Yeah.
This is the most I've written for the publication.
Yes, it is. You came in clutch this month because we had some weird stuff kind of going on behind the scenes, but it was, you did a great job. So thank you for that.
So if you read it, and it's very Andy heavy.
Well, and I just want to say that I'm so excited about our flower beds. They're beautiful. But I do want to put a little ask out to the community because I'm in the brainstorming process of what does the community want to see during Christmas in our flower beds?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of brainstorm. We have some limitations because there's no power in the flower beds and we can't really stick anything in them because there's water lines there. But how can we kind of decorate them as a community to really make them very Christmassy? So if you have ideas, let us know. Just reach out to us on Facebook or something. So
yeah. I get them. Yeah. So like my brain, because I did so many holiday landscapes.
Yeah. Maybe you have all the answers for me. I need to ask you.
No. But yeah, lots of Christmas trees and, are you, I guess the question would be then, are we able to pull those up and move them? Because, arborvitaes and things like that, I know I'm getting nerdy with trees.
I don't know what that word is that you just said.
It's a big fuzzy tree that I love. They're really pretty trees.
Yeah.
But, they don't do well in our summers. So they would need to be pulled up and taken somewhere safe during the summer so they could come back in the wintertime.
No, we have the whole greenhouse. They'll take all the plants back. I mean, we have such a fantastic Parks and Rec. And that's what I'm thinking is maybe we can plant some temporary Christmassy plants or something.
Get some holly out there. Some
be fun.
Evergreen trees. But all that stuff has to come out because it does not do well with our hot summers.
No, it doesn't.
Preston continues to try to plant evergreens and they just burn up.
Oh yeah.
And we just spend so much money on because they're not cheap.
Yeah, they're not. None of the plants are cheap.
But every summer about August they just burn up. They just cannot handle.
Can't take the Oklahoma heat.
Cannot take the Oklahoma heat. All right, Kelsey, it's that exciting time where we turn it over to you and have the mayor minute.
Oh, the mayor minute. Yeah. So this month I thought I'd talk about. First of all, I feel like one of the things I really strive to be is like a mayor of the people. And so I do ask the community's input on stuff. It matters to me. It has value to me. But it's also one of those be careful what you wish for. So I put up a post. Our Ponca City Development Authority put out a survey asking what does the community want to see as far as retail and restaurants and kind of. My favorite is when people say just here for the comments because it was a very wide-ranging, broad array of different comments. But we got a lot of good feedback. And here's the thing. We are a free market system. I cannot decide what stores come in and what stores don't come in. I mean, I can't. People like to say, don't let any more car washes in. Guys, this is America. It's for if you have a car wash person that buys property, they can put a car wash in. I cannot stop that as mayor. We do have zoning that restricts different businesses to only be in certain areas so that it doesn't bother residential. I mean, you can't have industrial people put in a manufacturing plant in a residential neighborhood. But what we can do is that we as a city can recruit certain businesses, recruit certain retail establishment and try to get them to come to Ponca City. So that was really what I was asking. We had some people that said, you should be recruiting manufacturing. Well, we heavily recruit manufacturing and we have for 30 years, but it's this balance of it's difficult to recruit manufacturing if you don't have housing, if you don't have the restaurants that their workers want to live in a town with certain restaurants. So it's really about getting a balance of those things. And so that was why I put that post out to kind of gauge the community of, what kind of restaurants do you want? So we got some great information, and I will say that survey is going to be open until September the 8th. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to Kelsey Wagner, the mayor page, and you can fill it out. So it was a lot of fun.
It's also available on the Ponca City Development
Yes.
Authority page, right?
Yep.
So you can go to either one of those. Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting survey. One of the things that I think, and it's a double-edged sword, because while I definitely think there needs to be one, I don't think it would be successful. And that is a men's clothing store.
So we actually really do need a men's clothing store. I get that feedback all the time. But it's difficult to have a men's only clothing store, so maybe it could be something where there are more stores that maybe offer men's clothing. But I know Bell's has got some decent men's clothing.
Sure.
So if you haven't looked there, maybe check that out. But my husband is a big, he likes to shop locally. Obviously, him and I both really, really shop locally as much as we possibly can. But ever since JCPenney's left, that was kind of the only really good department store for men. So that's been a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there were some people on there, would I love to have a Target in Ponca City? I mean,
Sure.
Everybody would love that. But these national retail brands have very specific population requirements, demographics requirements, traffic count requirements. And so it's like getting that perfect matchup of what works with our community demographics, what does the community want to be brought in, and what can the community support. So for example, the Icon Cinemas, which if you go and they're making a lot of progress. I'm told November is still the time frame. That was a perfect matchup of what can the community support, what do we need right now, what kind of fills that space. It used to be a theater. So that's the kind of stuff we're looking for.
Nice. So we talked about this a long time ago, but there's like fun little trade shows that you get to go to.
Yes.
Where there's like just businesses that want to come to your town.
They do. Yeah. We actually, the Development Authority and myself went to it's like the biggest retail show in North America, and it was in Las Vegas. And so I got to go talk to all these different people. And one of the fun things about it is the stores that we currently have in Ponca City, I got like Ollie's. I got to talk, we love being in Ponca City. They do really well. Starbucks, I got to talk to all the people that already have a store here in Ponca City, but I also got to go meet with some people that don't have a store, and they're like, "Oh, we've been looking at Ponca City for a long time. We'd love to be there." So I'm not going to give out any specific brands because I don't want to get your hopes up. But I will say there are some people that are looking really hard at Ponca City, and they see our growth in the housing. They see our growth, what we're doing. But we've been diversifying our industry now for about 20 years. So, and I think they see the huge potential here. So stay tuned. I hope to have some big announcements in the next couple of years. So, but it takes time.
Yeah. What would you say is the timeline from the time that you get the idea that Whataburger should be in Ponca City? How long does it actually take?
It really depends on what's happening. So there could be a parcel of land, and I would say the biggest challenge is does that owner of the land want to develop it, or are they someone that's kind of holding out? Do they have any incentive? So we have, whether it's a building owner, a landowner, whatever, and this could be for housing or for retail. And if that owner is looking for something to develop, it can go very, very quickly. I mean, it can go within a matter of months. But if you have, maybe it's a prime real estate spot and the owner's not interested, you could be talking about a 5-year development. So it just depends.
Just really depends on what's going on locally.
Yeah. And then you have market conditions and interest rate conditions and construction costs. And, so right now the big thing when we went to Las Vegas was the tariffs. So there were a lot of people that were, a lot of retail stores that were kind of hesitant to sign any letters of intent because they didn't know how much are their costs going to be to get the goods in the store. So I think that's relaxed a little bit. Some of the feedback I've got is that people have a little bit more, some of the tariffs haven't been as bad as they thought they would be. And so anyway, I think things are starting to move along again, which is great.
All right, Kelsey. Well, it's been fun. Anything else that we feel like we need to cover?
No, I think we covered it. The magazines are out on the newsstands now, and so go grab your copy.
Yeah. So we'll be back next. We'll be back with Kelsey next month, but we'll be back next week with I believe next week is Annie Owen, but we'll be back with her to talk about
Yeah.
her going TikTok viral. And it's weird because we record things out of sequence.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Annie's not my next interview because I interviewed her months ago.
Yeah.
But that's how we got her in the magazine. But yeah, so we'll be back next week. But you'll be back with us next month.
Yep.
So thank you guys for joining us.